Hey guys, it's Misty Kitten here. I'm sure you haven't seen any videos in like the last week besides that last one of my game room, which is improving, by the way, slowly, if you've seen my last video. Anyway, I just want to make this video and kind of explain why I've kind of been MIA in the last week or however long it's been. Just basically the last, I don't know, 5 months, I haven't been feeling like myself, and it recently hit me a little bit harder than it had before. It took me a little while to realize that, these last 5 or 6 months or whatever, I haven't really been feeling like myself, and I think I've like come to the conclusion that there's like some parts of my life that I'm kind of sad about. And yeah, I think part of it is, I don't know why it's hitting me all of a sudden since I'm the one that broke up with him, but breaking up with my ex, it hit me harder than I think it hit him. And he, I tried chasing him for these last like 5, 6 months, and no response. And I feel like part of that is, he's just over it. And some of it is, his friend Matt is influencing him to be like, you can do better, you always could, whatever. And I just think parts of it is that I'm so self-conscious about the way that I look. Just parts in my life that I don't honestly all the time feel like I'm heard. I don't, like, I'm kind of invisible. There's a lot that goes on in my head, and unfortunately it drags on to, my day to day, and it's just, and then I think part of it is it's not just the last 5 months, but with my dad passing away last year, I didn't have that close of a relationship with him, but I think it did finally start to hit me in a combination of like, breaking up with my ex, which, I know he's gonna think I didn't love him and whatever for his disability, and that's not the truth. The truth is that it was just getting too hard. We were too back and forth all the time. We were too like, oh, we're gonna break up, and then we're gonna be together, and then we're gonna break up, and then we're gonna be together, and then talk of kids. We even came up with a couple names for a little girl and a little boy. I can't remember the boy's name, but the girl's name was like Serene or something. He actually suggested it. And what surprised me was he was the one that remembered that we would have been together for a year, kind of on and off, in February. Actually, well, the February that's come and gone, we would have been together a year. The only problem with that was that, he had come down for a week, and he stayed with me, and his friend called that night, Matt, a couple days beforehand, and he says, oh dude, like, you're missing my party, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden my ex, his name is Logan, says to him, oh well, I'll give you a rain check for Friday, even though that's either that same day or a couple days before that, when he first came down, I told him that I would be broke the entire week because I had to pay rent the week before, and I wasn't getting paid till the next Friday, that I was going to treat him for a birthday dinner because it was also his birthday. And he didn't say a damn thing after I said, like, hey babe, like, I'm gonna treat you to this dinner, and he didn't say anything. And there's more to the story, but it's kind of but anyway, I feel like these last few months, like even like with my dad's death last year, like everything has suddenly hit me all at once. And I don't like it, because it's not like, I'm not like I love to laugh, and I love to be this, like, not necessarily like a happy-go-lucky person, but at least I'm happier than this. I mean, I literally go to work, and my smile, like, fades, depending on who I'm talking to normally, but first when I walk through the door, my smile fades. It's just like, yeah, okay, like, we're not doing this right now, like, I can't even handle it, like, it's just, and you know, and then I work with people that love drama, and they love to, you know, rumors spread, you know, it's basically like high school, but in a workplace, and, you know, you hear this, you hear that, and then it's just, you know, then your boss is on top of you for things that you've missed, and, or haven't done, or, you know, you ordered wrong or something, and they're on your ass for that, and you just kind of, and then you hear that they're talking about you behind your back, like, oh, well, they're not doing their work, and I'm supposed to be the second to this boss, so go figure. And then when she hears that somebody has said something about her not being a good manager or whatever, she plays victim. So she goes, well, I'm at the point where I want to quit. I was at the same point as the previous manager is now, and I want to quit. And hearing that I'm not a good manager, and that, you know, doesn't help, like, doesn't keep her there. And I mean, I have wanted to say to her for months, because she has done nothing but, you know, been bitchy about working overtime hours, when I kind of do the same every now and again. Yesterday I was supposed to be off at 2:30. I stayed till 4:30. So I pulled like 2 hours overtime. Apparently to her, she works like a 13-hour day or something, or whatever. So we're constantly hearing about this, and I just constantly want to say to her, like, I'm sorry, girl, but I have no sympathy for you. Like, you don't do your job. Like, you expect all of us to basically pick up your pieces, and if we don't, we're the ones that get shit on. I mean, especially me, who I'm sure I didn't do something yesterday, and she's ranting about it today, and I'm going to hear about it when I'm in 2 days. Like, a lot of it takes a toll on me, and, like, I'm not trying to make this about me, I'm really not. I'm just saying that, like, a lot of it, I carry a lot of it on my shoulders, and the last, like, couple days at work especially have been a real shit show, where things have fallen apart. The other day, everybody was mad at each other for, like, no reason. You couldn't say anything to anybody without getting attitude right back. Like, it was just bad. And the crappy thing is that, like, you know, you don't feel good in that time when somebody is yelling at you, or they're giving you attitude, and then you're just kind of like, hey, I'm fucking done with the day. Like, I've had that happened yesterday, and I was just like, I'm done, I quit. Even though I can't, because I live by myself, I was literally at the point where I'm like, I quit, I'm done. Like, you guys, basically, you can go and fuck yourselves for all I care. And the hard thing is that even then too, like, everyone that I've tried to talk to about it, like, my mom is scared that I'm gonna hurt myself, because, like, I've been in this type of feeling before, but I didn't. I almost did, but I didn't. And I don't know, I'm tired of, like, not being heard, or somebody seeing that something is wrong. And I mean, my sister, I was talking to her, and I said, you know, I told her these things, and she's just like, well, maybe you should go to a counselor. And I was just like, I've been to one before, and she knew I had been to one previous, but I've been to 2, and they really didn't help. Like, I mean, yeah, she suggested, you know, find a counselor that works for you, but it's just like, I don't find that helps, because every time I bring something up from, like, the past or something that happened, it just does this all over again, and I'm back in that state again. So I'm trying my own way of trying to be happy with, like, you know, trying to get back into things I love, like video games. I mean, I've got like my Switch set up in my game room now, so I'm kind of trying to play that a little bit more, and I'm getting like 3 video games tomorrow, so you'll probably see a video on that. It'll be really quick, but yeah, I don't know what to do. And then I think part of it too is like I'm missing my dad. Part of it is I'm missing my ex. Like like I said, I've been chasing him for months and no response. And I just feel like his friend Matt is part of it. But I mean, he didn't even want it to be a relationship in the first place. He thought it would be a hit it and quit it situation, and it wasn't. I mean, we were on and off for almost a year. Like, yeah, but apparently to Matt, I'm a little bitch that can't commit. So, yeah, I wanted to ask him too. I was like, okay, so when is your friend gonna put a ring on my finger? Like, because he said to me that, my ex, Logan, said to me that when he was gonna, if we got to the point where he was gonna propose, he would use the ring that he gave me kind of closer to when we first started dating. Only problem with that is that I don't have it anymore. I ended up, after we broke up, and I ended up kind of trading it with a girlfriend who moved, because I couldn't stand to look at it, and it was I'd hate to say it, but it was a really cheap ass ring, and he didn't give it to me in a romantic way. He was staying with me, and then he got off the couch that I set up into a futon thing, and he searched in his backpack, and he's like, I have something for you, and just kind of tossed it at me. And of course at this time, like, I'm head over heels for him and whatever. I think I still am. I just gotta get that under control. And he basically was just like, here you go. And me being head over heels, I was like sliding it on my finger, and I'm looking at it like, you know, I'm not thinking cheap ass ring. I'm thinking, oh, this is so pretty. Like, and every time, like, when I was laying next to him, or he was holding me or whatever, I would look at it, and he would pull the line like, oh, it looks a lot better on your finger than it does on mine. Or, you know, or even like the week before we broke up, or I broke up with him, I think it was close to that anyway, or maybe a week before or something, we went down to his hometown, and we weren't going to. We were going to go to a sex shop or something, and it was closed. But the entire time, apparently, he was distracted by my legs, because I was wearing a dress that only went like above my legs, and all you could see was my legs down, and then my high heel boots that were kind of about like this big. So, like, the heel was this big. So a lot of it, I still have memories when, like, I put on, you know, a certain dress, or him and his mom gave me a necklace for Christmas. And when I wear it, I get really happy again. Like, I remember him giving it to me, and I remember being like, oh my God, babe, and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get rid of it. I want to be able to, like, look at it without feeling like, oh shit, I have to talk to him again. Like, a lot of things are going on in my head, and I think a lot of it too is that I'm still stuck here in my hometown. I work at a really shitty job that the bosses are absolute shit. I kind of miss the old bosses that were there, because they made the place fun, but now this place is like, get it done, like, we're trying to make this easier, get it done. And some of the people are absolute shit, and like, it's rumor after rumor, and like group and group, like, it's just, you know, some teenagers work there, people my age work there, some a little bit older, like, and it's all kind of recognition without the worth of pay, is basically what it is. I mean, every time I'm in the meat department, I try my hardest to work my ass off. But then there's little things that she picks at, my manager picks at, and I feel like someday if I don't get everything out, and I don't start speaking my mind, I'm gonna lose it on somebody and I'm gonna get fired. Like, I have a lot of anger built up from over the years, and it has not come out the way that I want it to. Normally I'm like passive aggressive and I'm like, okay, it's okay, like it doesn't bother me. But a lot of the time I'm just like, I keep thinking in my head, or when I get a time alone, I'm kind of like, fuck, like I wish I had said this, or maybe I should have said this, or brought it up that this part of it is bothering me, or something like that, so then I can get it, so I can kind of get it out instead of bundling it all up and then have it like come out in a way that I don't mean it. And then, I don't know what to do, and I'm very like, I don't really want to go to a counselor. My sister also suggested antidepressants, but the thing is that I'm not against it. I'm just kind of scared of how I would be on that, because that's something I've never had before, and I really don't want to go down that road unless I really, really have to. I mean, I don't want to get to the point where I'm gonna, like, somebody's gonna see like a cut down my arm and be like, did you do that to yourself? Like, start questioning me, or see something in my personality that is kind of off, and then be like, oh, did you hurt yourself? How are you feeling? Did you do this? I mean, another thing was suggested too was, it was a counselor thing, but it was go through my work, and because they've had that, and go and find or talk to somebody that's through there. And I was just kind of like, I mean, I promised my sister that I would, but I think a lot of it is I'm trying to get back into things that I really, really love, or loved at least. Like, I used to love writing. I had a ton of stories. I've been probably writing since I learned to write, so that's like 5 or 6, I think. I loved reading. I had a shit ton of books in this room. This is my game room now, and I gave them all to one of my friends from work who doesn't work with me anymore. And I gave them to a couple of friends. One I don't work with anymore. One of my girlfriends who I met, supposedly she's seen me at school. I'm not 100% sure, and then Dark Divine Gaming, I gave her one too, and I just, and then I started collecting books a little bit again, like the After series. I just saw the movie. I loved it, but I think clips were a little short, but anyway, that's another story. And then I also write songs, but I've never put them to music. I've just kind of written them as a tune goes on in my head. So I've got like the creative outlet. I just find that like I'm exhausted after working a 40-hour week. Like, when I finally get my days off, I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to relax. And that's the bad thing, is that too, I'm not motivated to go and do something. I'm just like, I'm just going to sit my ass in front of this TV and I'm going to sit here all day long, is basically what my thinking is. It's not, okay, yeah, I'm going to call up this girlfriend, or even Dark Divine Gaming and go, okay, let's hang out. I've done that before, and it was a very short visit, which I think Sorry Girl is good, because then I'm not, I don't know, there's something in my head that is just like, I have to get back to myself, even though I'm not even 100% sure what myself is. Like, I feel very lost in the moment, and I feel very pissed off because of certain situations that, I've let people get away with. I mean, at least when I broke up with my ex, and his friend Matt came after me saying, you're a little bitch that can't commit, and his mother that's a whole other story. Came after me too. I basically said to Matt, I said, fuck you, you know, why is it okay for him, like, you're always on my ass when I break up with him. Why isn't nobody, I have never sent, until now, anybody on his ass for the way that he's broken up with me? One of the ones that probably hurt me the most was when he came to visit. We were still together. He came to visit, and I thought everything went fine. And then all of a sudden, he didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. He went dark, as he called it. And I was working at like 6 in the morning in the deli and whatever. And I text him before I go to bed. So it was like 11 o'clock. And then I wake up to my phone. It was like between 2 and 3 a.m. And we're just kind of talking and whatever. And then all of a sudden, he breaks up with me. And I'm just kind of like, I'm laying there on the couch, completely devastated, because the guy that I had liked, had fallen so hard for, did this to me. And I have to be at work in like 4 hours, and I have to put on a face like I'm okay. But honestly, the second that I got to work, one of my coworkers looks at me and she goes, "Are you okay? Like, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not good." And I ended up like crying because I was so devastated. I mean, like, we're from different towns, me and my ex, and we're very different but kind of similar people. His thing is, though, is he's more blunt than I am. But the problem is, too, is that we had, like, when I met him, it was a very awkward meeting, considering, too, the fact that his friend, Matt, had shown a picture he had of me, a very explicit, well, kind of explicit picture of me that I had sent him when we were whatever we were. We weren't dating, we weren't whatever. And he sends it to Logan, and then he's like, and then he tells me, "Oh, I've got a nice guy for you. He's like, you know, really nice. He's this, he's that." This is after he set me up with somebody else so that this guy, his friend, would stop chasing after this girl that was apparently terrible for him. And we both had kind of different opinions on each other. Like, basically it was like, he thought I was a bimbo because it was Matt. You know, I had been with Matt, not been with Matt, but whatever. And then I thought he was a jackass because I'm like, well, he's friends with Matt. What else is new? Like, whatever. So we're talking, and he finds out that I'm completely different. He's like thinking, like, what was Matt ever doing with this girl? Like, she's, you know, a lot smarter than the girls he usually goes for, whatever, like, she's not a bimbo, whatever. And then I remember, like, the meeting, and he came down here, and it was awkward, because the first thing he says is, "I have to pee," because his mother had driven him down because he didn't have his license at the time. And he comes down, and we barely say anything to each other. His mother's standing right there. His stepdad's standing right there. And it's just like, "Oh, I'm so-and-so. Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Michelle." That's my real name, by the way. And Missy is just a nickname. But that's kind of how it happened. And then as we got to know each other, it was like a constant, like, the only problem was it would be a call between like 10 and midnight, and I would have to work, so I'd stay up waiting for him, or I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I can't stay up," or I'd be asleep and I'd have my phone right next to me and I would answer when he calls or whatever. But I just remember that, and I'm just kind of like, how did we go from being like, at least on my side, being head over heels when he said he didn't know how he felt about me, to the point we were at before I broke up with him. Like, I don't understand it. And then the thing is too, is I feel completely played. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like it was just kind of a catfish moment, but then I kind of think, wait a minute, I kind of relate to a little bit. I think I kind of relate to that book After, or now the movie After, where, like, you know, he's playing her the entire time, but he actually loves her. And I kind of feel like that in a way, but then I'm like, well, wait, because after we broke up, he's not chasing me. I'm chasing him. So it's like yes and no, we're relating to it. I'm relating to it, but I don't know. I'm not even 100% sure where, you know, my head's at. I have a feeling he's been over it for months. He's probably always looking at, not always, but when he does look at his phone, he's kind of like, oh, fuck, here's her voice again, or here's, I mean, he said the last time, too, when we broke up, that he had my number blocked so I couldn't call him. And he didn't unblock it when we got back together, so it was just kind of like he'd missed my call because he couldn't figure out how to, like, fix it. I don't know. It was a huge thing. But now I just feel like I really need him, and I've told him that. Like, I've messaged him, and I've done all these things being like, I miss you, I need you, whatever. And I get absolutely nothing. So I'm slowly trying to move on, but my head is just like, it's so fucked up right now. But anyway, that's why you probably haven't seen a video in like the last week. I'm supposed to be getting like 3 new Switch games tomorrow, so I'll probably do a quick video on that because I'll be opening them, and then it'll be kind of a little reveal. So anyway, you guys, have a good day.